Hi, Wade Galt here. Want to take you through a conversation about how you can present career opportunities to the people you want to grow your agency. Now, there are really two types of people that are going to help you grow your PNC book. One of them is the rainmaker. That's the person that's doing no servicing work whatsoever. They're simply soliciting new business and they are not doing any service work. They're just going out there stirring things up. That person's a lot harder to find. It can happen. We're not as much focusing on that person. The person we're focusing on is the person who does some retention work. They might have a section of the alphabet, if that's how you do it, or they might have a certain number of accounts or service work they do. Realistically, about half of their time is being invested in doing PNC, retention, renewal sales work, service work, however you like to word that. And then the other part of their time is invested in helping you grow your book. So this person is going out in some form or fashion and making something happen, whether they're physically leaving the office, whether they're making outgoing calls. They're not just writing the business that comes in. So, to make a very clear distinction, some people will talk about things like new business or raw new business, or they'll have different terms they use in their company cultures. And a lot of the times, a lot of this business is still walking in the door. So, I'm going to suggest to you if the business is walking in the door, you don't need an auto fire growth expert to take care of that. You can have a retention expert, a renewal sales specialist do that because the person's coming in saying, hey, I need auto insurance because the law says so, or I need home insurance because the bank says so. You don't need this person for that. This is the person that is actively making things happen and helping you grow your book by writing high quality business. Now, if you follow the framework that I've shared about different expert positions in the agency, you know that the three expert positions I talk about a lot are the retention expert, the PNC growth expert, which we're focusing on here, and the multi-line expert. I want to make sure that in any situation that a prospective team member understands that there is room for growth in the agency. So whether this is a person who has been a renewal sales specialist and they want to grow into a growth expert, or maybe they just want to be a growth expert, or maybe they think they'd like to be an agency owner someday and they want to see the progression. I want to make sure that they understand there's a career path possibility here. And first, I'm going to illustrate this to them with a diagram explaining it. And then I'm going to show them what the opportunity looks like financially. Now, anytime I show you numbers financially in these videos, I'm showing you demo or dummy numbers, but I'll usually try to make the targets kind of relevant for what you might be finding in your marketplace. And I'm often going to talk in the conversation of policies. And I know for some of you all, premium is more important, but I speak in policies because number one, for some people, that's what their targets are on. And number two, that way it allows us to at least look at the difference between what we're talking about premium wise. So if you're in a smaller premium market versus a big premium market. And when I say policies, I'm also talking about per vehicle. So for example, if I say 30 autos, that would mean 30 vehicles. So you might have a multi car policy and you say, wait, I have on average three policies per auto policy or three vehicles per auto policy, excuse me. And so I'd actually have 10 policies would write 30 actual vehicles. So when I say autos, I'm talking about the number of actual vehicles, just to give you, again, a standardized piece that holds across markets. So in this opportunity here, this career path, you'll see I'm showing what it could look like if you're a retention expert. And I go into that in a different video, what that opportunity is like. And then I say, look, if you do really well as a retention expert for an extended period of time, usually at least 3 months, and you're performing at this level 4 or 5, then I'll be willing to invest the time to help you become an auto fire growth expert, which is what we're talking about here. Or sometimes you might just have somebody that they really are a salesperson more than a service person. But again, this position that we're talking about, this auto fire growth expert, is not a pure rainmaker who does zero service work. This auto fire growth expert does some retention work, does do some service work. So actually, I'd still want them to learn this position first and grow into this. And at least in this example here, the way we usually set these up, the bonuses, as far as the retention expert, that sort of first level position where you're learning the fundamentals, is going to be not as big of an opportunity as the bonuses for that auto fire growth expert. And then it's going to become even bigger if a person can multi-line. So we're showing a progression. We're showing ability for a person to grow over time. And this is something we found is huge as we've talked with prospective team members and also as we've done this in different markets where the agency owner would say, look, I showed this particular screen or this particular piece of paper as we print these out to a prospective employee. and they saw that there's opportunity, there's growth, and that's what excited them the most. So on the Auto Fire Growth Expert, we're focusing here on the really most critical parts of what they need to be doing. In this case, we need to be doing a lot of quotes. Usually it's going to be more than that, but I'm just showing that as a possibility. Sometimes you have really high closing ratios, so this might be enough to hit their goals. We show the lapse rate of the business for the agency. You can invert that to make that the retention rate. So a 20% lapse rate is an 80% retention rate. And again, in different markets, 20% lapse rate might be a really good rate. In other markets, that's a horrible rate. You need to be doing better than that. And then we're looking at auto sales and fire sales that this person would be doing. And again, we're basing this off of some average premiums. In real life, their sales would be based off of actual sales. And we're showing them here's what you could be making in bonuses. And again, these are dummy numbers. So usually you might find your market numbers are going to be bigger. We could help you look at that. The main thing I'm looking to communicate is that the bonuses get bigger as you grow and learn more in the agency and the business. And the ability to earn additional paid vacation days grows as you can do more. So I want to make it very clear there's opportunity now and there's greater opportunity going forward. I want you to see that it's in your best interest as a team member to grow with me, even if that means you eventually become an insurance agency owner. I'm going to share with you that, look, while you're with me, I'll teach you over about a 3-year period to do all these roles and eventually train and develop and recruit and hire and coach these roles so that after about 3 to 5 years, you'll be ready as an agency owner to hire these people. Or you might just say, wait, I want to stay with you and I want to grow with you. I don't plan on going anywhere. I just want to know there's a big opportunity. This helps us communicate that and allows us to sort of throw our hat in the ring to make sure that the best producers realize that, yes, we're serious, we're willing to pay for good production, and we're willing to develop team members throughout their career. Now, in the specific opportunity, there's some numbers I'm going to share here. And again, these are dummy or demo numbers. You could make these whatever you needed them to be. We'll usually have some initial bonuses, and we'll have these be the same, at least this is the best practice, to have these numbers be the same whether you are a retention expert or a multi-line expert or an auto fire growth expert. I want to make sure that the same result is paid the same way. So if you write an add-on auto, an auto that walks in the door that already has business with us, I'm going to pay you 1% of the semi-annual premium if this were the bonus plan. And that would be whether you're a retention expert, a multi-line expert, auto fire growth expert, whatever it might be. So there's this 1 to 2% of initial bonuses based on you writing business that comes in. Some people like to say, Wade, I don't want to pay any bonuses on add-ons, to which I would simply remark two things. Number one, having done this over 20 years, the most successful agency owners have told me, Wade, I get more sales when I pay for the add-on autos. And really it's because number two, those are my best clients. Those are who I grow with. And if they want to buy that third auto from us, let's say it's a couple that has a kid that just turned driving age, that still means we're doing good stuff. That means my team is doing things right. I want them to be rewarded for that, as opposed to ignoring our customers who have 4, 5, 6, 7 policies with us so we can talk to a one-line auto and then realize that we might be risking that entire 5 to 6 to 8 line policyholder just to talking to a person who might just be shopping and might never even do business with us. In addition to that initial bonus, we have a framework that allows you to reward this auto fire growth expert for consistency. Now, I want you to think about the nature of the job of selling personal lines P&C especially. This person might be doing commercial, depending on where you're at, or farm and agriculture. But for the most part, the numbers are going to come significantly from personal lines. There's not necessarily a whole lot of variety or a whole lot of excitement in the personal line side. There's a lot of stability and there's consistency in doing the work. And the type of person who's going to be attracted to this type of a job usually can handle that things are a bit repetitive, but they need a reason to keep being productive. And so what we've set up here is they have their initial bonuses, that 1 to 2% we just talked about. And then looking at the auto for a moment here, if they hit higher levels of auto, they can earn higher percentages on all the auto they wrote that month. So if this person was normally getting 1 to 2% on an auto, but they wrote 18 auto that month, and I'm going to include add-ons, that's the best practice. You don't have to, but that's the best practice. Then they would get 1.2% on their 1% auto or 2.2% on their 2% auto for having hit that 18 auto. And it's going to be retroactive, go all the way back to the first one of that month. If they do 30 auto that month, they're going to get 1% more on everything they wrote that month. So it creates a natural incentive for them to want to hit those higher numbers and keep going once they hit them. And then if they're consistent, if I just triple these numbers and say, this is your quarterly target, if you're consistent, I'm going to give you up to another 1%. And then if you're consistent for the year, I'm going to give you up to another 1%. So you could earn up to 3% more off of your 1 and 2% autos in this example. Because again, I want consistency and I want you to be rewarded for that. I want you to be excited about that. Same thing is happening here with the fire policies, whether that's a home, homeowners, condo, renters, liability umbrella, personal articles policy, boats. I want to make sure that you can see where, again, over time, you make more by being consistent. And so that actually you have this baseline of up to 2% plus possibly another 3%, which is a maximum of actually 5% of total bonus of semi-annual auto and annual fire on the production you're writing if you're able to consistently perform at the top levels. There are a few incentives I have to get more from you, and you don't have to use these. That first part is the core of the plan. I can have targets where, based on the agency's lapse rate, in other words, what percentage of customers are turning over or churning or defecting on a regular basis, if we get these numbers lower, you can earn monthly bonuses. And you might say, well, wait, this person isn't directly impacting the lapse rate or the customer retention. I'd suggest to you that they are. If they're writing a lot of the incoming business, they're going to get this bonus because they've written the policy well the first time, and they connected with the person, they educated the person well. In other words, they didn't just go after that first sale and collect the check and the signature. They actually made sure the customer was educated, so they'll stay with us beyond that first renewal. So here they could earn up to another $150 per month if you use this exact framework. Over on the right here, we're going to give them bonus just based off of total policy growth on a monthly basis. And if we're growing, they can just see literally $1 policy. It's not a huge dollar amount. It is a reminder that they're getting rewarded as we grow. And then if you want, you can have some multiple target bonuses. There's different ways to do this. We like doing this in a way where we say, look, if you hit your policy targets for auto and fire policies, and you're doing the right amount of quotes, and your lapse numbers, your retention based on the business that's being written for the agency is low, you can earn anywhere from a quarter day to 1.25 days per month of additional paid vacation, which could get you up to 15 additional days of paid vacation throughout the course of the year. So I want to make sure you understand that I'm not the only one who gets additional paid time off as the owner. If you can be doing a great job, there are ways for you to earn additional paid time off as well. I have some team target bonuses. I want to make sure that the team's hitting certain numbers, that everybody wins. So this is usually a framework I'm going to use for all of my team members, my retention team members, auto fire growth, multi-line experts, and just say, look, if we hit certain targets, let's say in this agency, they're currently writing 35 autos a month. If I get 40 a month, everybody gets 10 bucks. If we get 45 a month, everybody gets 20 bucks. Really simple framework, simple to understand. There's another $300 per month on the table. If some of these targets don't apply to you, of course, you could come up with different ones or simply leave them out. Bottom line, I want to make sure that the team understands it's in their best interest to cooperate, to support each other, and that's going to be something financially beneficial for everyone. The person who's doing the auto and fire growth sales might or might not be life and health licensed. If you sell these products and if they are licensed, I want to make sure they get paid on these. I don't have targets for them for life sales or health sales because, again, at this point, their primary focus is consistent, steady, high-level P&C sales. I could move them over to the multi-line salesperson's bonus plan if I find they really want to focus on those multi-line sales. But I have some initial bonuses here when the policies get issued. And then similarly, if you have bank products or annuities or other products, you can also have bonuses for those as well. Once I create this opportunity, I want to make sure that the producer can understand it. It's one thing to see the numbers, even if they're pretty colored on a piece of paper. It's another thing for them to see what it means to them. So this is showing them and saying, look, if you performed at this level of production, here's how much bonus would you make. So for example, if you did 18 auto and 12 fire on a regular basis, based on the average premiums I've put in here, you would do 30 policies a month, and this person would make about $420 of bonus on a monthly basis. And when we added in the quarterly and annual bonuses, it'd be about $5,700 of bonus for the year. So I'm showing here anywhere from a $5,700 bonus to a $8,800 bonus, $12,000 and change, $16,000 and change, and $20,000 plus. So I'm showing huge bonus opportunities. And if your premiums are higher, then these numbers are going to be higher. And this, in a lot of ways, is the most important thing for them to see. If they can't see the opportunity, they're not going to be excited to grow. If they can, they're going to just run with it for the most part if they are a producer. And to put it a different way, if they see the opportunity and don't run with it, they're probably not a producer. In this recruiting packet, I'm also going to make sure they're aware of the performance standards. Where do things go south? If things aren't working, where might be the situation where we're either looking at possibly you're not getting bonuses or perhaps that you're in the wrong job? So for each of these positions, in this case, the auto fire growth expert, we have criteria. If I were hiring a pilot, I'd say that person needs to launch the plane, fly the plane, and land the plane. That's what a pilot does. An auto fire growth expert needs to write and issue a certain number of auto fire policies. They need to do a certain amount of quotes, and they need to write business that sticks. Now, you could have different criteria. These are the criteria I'm illustrating here, and these could be changed. What I'm doing here is saying in each of these, I have levels, everything from outstanding success to good, to acceptable, to unacceptable, to complete failure. And each one of these levels has a corresponding outcome. So at the first three levels, the top three levels, all the bonuses are paid and everything's okay. If it's unacceptable production, there might be no bonuses. And if there's complete failure, we might be doing a job review. So this makes it very clear before I bring somebody on, this is what I'm looking for. And if you can't do these things, you're probably not the right person for the position. I don't want you leaving a job where you're 85% happy, hoping you're going to come to my agency and be 88 to 90% happy. I want it to be where you're so excited about this job, it's a big opportunity, and you're willing to take the risks and do the work necessary to get the job done. Now, if I'm training somebody in the position, I might have a timeline where they work their way into the job. So I might say, look, in week one, here's what I need from you, a certain number of quotes and a certain number of policies written. And then by week two and week three, so I have this timeline where you're eventually increasing your production over time. And then maybe I decide to incorporate some sort of requirements for bundled life, health, and other sales if that's something that's important to me. But again, for a person who's not already a veteran, who's not been doing this, I'm going to assume that this person might need to grow into it so I can have that schedule. And yet I can still say to them, look, if by week 13, you're not doing 30 quotes a week and you're not doing 6 policies per week, this might not be the opportunity for you. Equally as important, in fact, perhaps more important financially, if by week 4, you're not doing 10 quotes per week and 2 sales per week, then you might be in the wrong position. And so what you'll find as you develop these criteria, you'll start to develop more trust in them. So initially, they're going to be hypotheses for you as far as whether or not this person would work out. But let's say you've now had 3 people that week 4 couldn't do 10 quotes per week and 2 auto or fire for the week combined. And then now you kept those people until, let's say, month 4. And you say, well, you know what, month 4, they didn't work out. But you know what, at week 4, I saw the writing on the wall. I should have let them go at week 4. And so as you get better at this, you're going to stop wasting money on keeping people you should be letting go of and turning over the wrong people more quickly. And again, communicating to people and letting them know, look, if you're with me and if by week 4 you're not doing this level, you're not going to be in this position. And being able to do this can also help scare away the people who are wrong for the position before they even start with you. We have the same situation here for training and activity milestones. There's information I need you to master on a certain schedule. And again, these can be updated and changed to your agency. There's activities I need you to be able to complete. And there's measurable results I need you to demonstrate that you're doing in order for you to make sure that you're growing and you're able to complete the position work. Similarly, there will be a set of tasks you need to master during your time in the position. Some of them you might already know. So first I'll ask you, what are you already able to do? And then for the things you don't know how to do, we'll schedule training and make sure that we have a timeline for that as well. And before you proceed on to the next level position, in this case, the multi-line review expert, I'm going to make sure you know how to do all these pieces. And then for any new hire, you're going to want to have a timeline that shows how their income can grow. For an experienced team member, you might already have a base salary you're bringing them in at and they're already set. But for people who are learning the job, you want to be able to show them that perhaps initially they're starting out at a lower hourly income or base salary. I'm going to suggest hourly income. And then as they grow and as they hit certain milestones, that will increase and that over time they can earn more paid time off, more insurance benefits if you do that, more either 401k or Roth IRA contributions or increased investments to you into their training budget for them to learn other things outside of the agency as they grow personally and professionally. I hope you find this helpful. This is how we found it works really well to compensate auto fire growth experts. We use these numbers in job postings. We communicate this to the marketplace and make sure that people understand that we're serious. We will share solid bonuses and solid opportunities for people who can do the work. And yet, at the same time, for those people who can't do the job, we will also move on very quickly. If you have any questions on any of this or need help implementing this in your agency, please let me know. If you ever want to meet and talk about your agency, you can register for a strategy session with me. I'll get some information from you and we'll talk about what's going on in your agency. As always, I look forward to helping you impact more people and make more money in less time doing what you do best so you can fully enjoy your family, your friends, your freedom, and your life. Compensating awesome people the right way is one of the most important things to help you create an automatic insurance agency that lets you do that. Let me know whatever I can do to